Welcome to another episode of my series, Mystic Minds with K Mystic, where I represent something that I like to call the Mystic Veil, the bridge between the seen and unseen worlds. This episode will be Pantheon equivalents ungrounded. Now, I'm not saying that I ungrounded this information. What I'm saying is that within the Mystic Veil framework, I think a lot of people try to put symbology on spiritual and metaphysical topics, claiming them down to be metaphors or symbols of our subconscious mind or things that people just mentally project. So in this episode, we will be talking about Pantheon equivalence in an ungrounded level. What is a deity? The etymology of deity comes from the root word deu, to shine, divine nature of godhood and attributes of God. From the 1580s, as a being to whom has divine nature or godlike nature is attributed to them. What is the etymology of God? A spirit or being believed to control some part of the universe or life and often worshipped for doing so, or something that represents this spirit or being, by the Cambridge University Press. So I think a lot of people might have different etymologies or meanings for God, but I just use this one because this is the context that I'm speaking about it in. Pantheon of deities. So there's the Greek, Aztec, Roman, Mesopotamian, Norse, Indigenous American, Yoruba, Pantheon, Caribbean, South Celtic, Japanese, and Hindu. I think that a lot of the deities within a lot of pantheons, people forget about them. People put them onto movies and TV shows and love them, but in real life, I think people could care less about what they have going on, right? In my opinion. What is the soul? The soul is the divine consciousness and intelligence, the eternal, non-physical essence of a person that exists before birth and beyond death. It is said that your true essence and true being is encased in your soul as the observer of everything that you are doing right now. And every single day, it is observing everything. That's why people like to say that you are not your thoughts, you are observing your thoughts. You are the person that's observing your thoughts. And the reason why I kind of like this description of the soul is because I kind of use this in my episode of Mystic Minds with K Mystic, Hello High Water, aka hyperhidrosis. I said a way that you can deal with that is by detaching who you are from having hyperhidrosis. A lot of people feel shame or guilt and they think that this is me, this is them, that's actually going through this. But you're actually just witnessing. Actually, let me not say that in a way that people go insane, but I think that you are you, but you are not your problems. You're experiencing them, but that's not you. If you have hyperhidrosis, having shame or guilt is it. You shouldn't having shame or guilt about it. You should try to separate yourself from that type of identity. So that's why I like this description of it. So there is a lot of popular archetypes for the soul, the warrior soul, a soul oriented through challenge, protection, and confronting obstacles head on. This is interesting because I was just reading about different levels of army rankings. So warrior souls are definitely people that choose to go to the army. An old soul is a consciousness that feels internally ancient, often focused on meaning, wisdoms, and long-term understandings rather than surface experiences. These are the type of people where people say they've been here before. And what I've heard from old souls is that a lot of old souls, they kind of have a been there, done that mentality. They don't get into a lot of trouble in life. They don't make a lot of destructive choices when they're young. They don't really like to go clubbing or partying, etc., etc. Why? Because they've been there and done that. Now, that would probably be a more advanced older soul. Maybe there's some old souls, they come back and they still do the same thing. So I'm not saying that this is not a framework where you have to say, if I'm not in the description, then that's not me, or it gets to, I'm a lot of them, I don't know which. This is not it. A lot of people have different attributes in all different types of archetypes, or wherever your soul was created. It wasn't put in these earthly terms of archetypes. So you shouldn't restrict yourself to one or think that because you're not the other, then that means you should be confused about or anything. The star soul, a lot of people make fun of these guys or these people that claim to be star seeds. A soul believed to carry a strong resonance with cosmic or non-earth conscious patterns. Yeah, a lot of people say that they're star seeds and people call them New Age and blah, 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 blah. The Alchemist, a consciousness focused on transformation, turning hardship or darkness into growth. I really like alchemy. Not physical alchemy, like I'm going to turn this phone into a gold brick and sell it and then turn the gold brick back into a phone and then split it in half and then have a phone and a gold brick. I'm not talking about that. What I mean is emotional alchemy in terms of using your emotions and alchemizing it, transmuting your emotions for your own uses, not letting them control you or seeing things that you don't want to do and using that alchemy for doing things that you need to do. So if you see a future that you don't want to live, you need to alchemize your emotions, the things you don't want to do now to get it done immediately. That's a good level of emotional alchemy that you can use. Basically, that, allows you to do things that you need to do. The mystic, a soul naturally drawn towards the unseen and symbolic and spiritual dimensions of reality. As K Mystic, representing the mystic veil, my concept of the bridge between the seen and unseen, I didn't even have this into consideration when I made when I made my name or my brand. It just had it, so I think that's really cool. The creator soul, a soul whose primary drive is to bring ideas, art, and systems into existence. I may have a little bit of that too. Healer, a consciousness focused on restoring balance emotionally and spiritually and physically. The teacher, a consciousness oriented on sharing knowledge and helping others to understand life. The reason why I had to put in the soul here is for the next slide. So I just put in archetypes just so I can describe the soul so you guys can see why it relates to Pantheon equivalents. What is an oversoul? The oversoul is the part of the soul that stays with the creator. It's the true identity of the soul before it travels through the dimensions. It is the original divine essence that never separates from the source, while smaller parts of the soul move through realities, lifetimes, and experiences to learn and evolve. The oversoul holds the blueprint of who you are and where you come from and what your soul purpose is. So it is the part of you that stays intact in the higher worlds, higher heavens, celestial realms, whatever you want to call it, the overworld, some people like to say, which is kind of separate from the higher worlds and the celestial realms, but we'll just say the overworld, right? Shout out to Brother Yosef. And it is a part of you that knows exactly what every single aspect of your soul, all around the universe, realms, dimensions, is doing, right? I put this visualization of a diamond because a lot of people say that the soul looks like a multifaceted chandelier diamond type of being entity, right? That has multiple facets that control everything in relation to who you are, what you're doing. There's a part of your soul that controls your breathing pattern, that controls your blood movement, that controls your biofield, all of that, right? So it's not just observing. It actually does a lot, but I really like this because it shows it breaking down different levels, different dimensions, different worlds to the physical world, being a human. So, how the God Oversoul relates to Pantheon equivalents. In esoteric systems, a higher entity, an Oversoul deity, can splinter into avatars, aspects, or cultural incarnations. This is a very popular one, Thor and Shango. They're both deities or gods of thunder and lightning and fire. If you read their stories, they are very similar, right? And their archetypes. Now, this is a clear as day one that even Wikipedia says this one. The Greek and Roman Selena and Luna, Roman being Luna and Greek being Selene. She is the titaness of the moon, the lady of the night sky, and she's the personification of the moon. Roman Luna. She is the goddess of the moon, the divine personification of the moon. She's a lunar deity and she's the guardian of night cycles. Now, this is one that a lot of people don't actually know, which are Pantheon equivalents. Egyptian Thoth and Norse Odin. Thoth is the god of wisdom, writing, language, and knowledge. And Odin is the god of wisdom, knowledge, runes, and sacred symbols. Conclusion. Beyond all contrary beliefs in many different spiritual systems and pantheons around the world, deities are not in competition. and are fully able to coexist with each other. They are seen as manifestations of the universe or the creator, ruling over different aspects of creation. Yeah, so I think a lot of humans, they have a separative mindset when it comes to divinity, belief, and devotion towards what they believe in. A lot of people have the thought that I'm right, you're wrong, and you're going to hell and I'm going to heaven. I mean, I'm not here to make people believe anything different to what they're already thinking, but this is just my interpretation of the seen and unseen worlds. I really like this that, in different systems, pantheons can exist and they're not in competition with each other. They can all exist. It's almost like the highest level of employment you can think about, ruling over different aspects of creation. So that concludes another episode of Mystic Minds with K Mystic, where I represent the mystic veil, the bridge between the seen and unseen worlds.